Forget the clothing and everything. See, in Nigeria, everybody's on hunger strike. Even when you decide to give the government a chance to see what they can do, I think even in the entire world, there is this thing about hunger. So people are angry. So today we want to look at how we can ensure food sufficiency, especially amidst this hunger. And people will say, when you talk about food sufficiency, the best people to have this conversation with are the agriculturists, people that are into food production. And today with us,
We have Comrade Chisum Honora.
Honora.
Honora, sorry. Sorry. Nze Chisum Honora.
I think I prefer this way.
Let's use it. Yes, because ihe agriculture ka a na-ekwu ndị ikwu okwu ịkọ ugbo ikwu okwu ndị Igbo. And in the olden days, ichizu I don't know bagi maluma. So Nze Chisum Honora is the President AFAN Youth Wing. That is Anambra State Farmers Association of Nigeria. All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Anambra State Chapter. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, David.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you so much.
It's really been a long time having you on the program here.
You can see, it's meant for a purpose. Sometimes you need to take a little sabbatical leave and be productive on the other side of the production aspect.
So I'm actually happy this conversation is apt because last week Mr. Governor did something that had to do with food sufficiency, and then people are also talking about food. And this is actually planting season. I believe it's not yet too late for people to say, let me go back to my farm. So yes, it's not like we're talking about this at a point where you can't do anything. So when we talk about food sufficiency now, when we talk about food sufficiency, what exactly are we looking at? At what point can you see that this state has sufficient food?
Okay.
Because some people will tell you that the food is there, it's just that it's expensive. But I don't want to have that argument because I believe if the food is there, there will be no need for it to be expensive. But then, from your expertise view, what do you think is food sufficiency?
Okay. Thank you very much. Anambra, Kenyan, Nigerians, I salute everybody. Once again, food sufficiency can be described as a situation whereby every household can afford at least 3 square meals. 3 square meals. Let me just make it practical. Leave mathematics, leave this or that. Once every family in a household are able to feed with minimal cost implication, then you can now say yes, food is there. Because food cannot come from the moon. It's from the soil. It's from the locality. So when people are importing food, you can't say there is food sufficiency. So it must be sourced within the neighborhood, within the society. And it is only when that is sufficient that you can now think of exporting. So when a household cannot feed, cannot provide, a father and mother cannot provide reasonably 3 square meals, then what are we talking about? There will be hunger.
All right. Because for us to get this food sufficiency, we need to understand how we get to where we are. Can you help us trace or even identify what are the major reasons for the level of inflation in food prices that we have at the moment? Is it just fuel price, or what is the reason? You go into the market and you are seeing 400, 500% increase in food prices, in prices of items also that comes from, that the raw material is food. Why is this cost? Why are we having this level of inflation? Is it because of the importation or the cost of, what is it?
It's simply because we are consuming society. Very simply put, everybody in this, our contemporary society, fails to realize the critical need for production. You don't produce, that's why you import. You have capital flight. Government and the people are not working together. People in government are strangulating those who are not in government. What we are saying, we are only producing paper in form of money. It's only when the government that has to provide enabling environment for those who are not in government sector and those who are in government sector working together, give stimulant, what I call stimulant. We can thank God. We have to appreciate the present government in a way. Professor Chuma Solodo. A few of them who are governors in this country have started to realize the need. Like he termed it farm to feed. That was launched. Then 2 days ago or so, one Tuski second batch was also, activated. The second batch. It's high time we have to know that collaboration and partnership is the only way forward. The policy feed farm is wonderful. We support it. We praise governor for it. But the stimulant needed for it to be actualized is what we want to determine. Let us know. It's high time. Various schools, when you go to schools, it is not just teaching children how to read and write, do mathematics, do chemistry. Put stimulant in secondary school that the best or the first 5 secondary schools will take home social prize if they produce social quantity tons of food. Give them little the seeds. Schools are localized, some schools are localized in cities, rural areas. You map out the ones that will be of comparative advantage. Organizations like Farmers Apex Body, like us, we are not, I want to say with all due respect, we are still waiting for Mr. Governor to work with us the way it should be.
What is the way it should be?
The way it should be is that some of these policies, that's why I asked, where is the stimulant? When you design a policy for agriculture, for people who are in the field, they must partner. You mentioned fuel. I mean, this inflation.
Yes.
Because we are importing fuel. You cannot deal decisively with issue of capital flight, inflation, and fuel without bringing in those who are producing that fuel. So strategic engagement matters. These seedlings that have been dispersed, that have been distributed over time, you only use community structure in Anambra State and party structure. Yes, all of us are operating at the same grassroots, but there is difference between capital B and
small letter B.
Small letter B or the boot of a car. The government is an apex institution of the society. There are other smaller institutions that should work with what the government feels that can give a change, a meaningful change, and impact positively. If you give stimulant to those who are working in that sector, then it will make it easier. Where is the funding? At federal level, some time ago, the initiative of GMO came on board. It became controversial because there was information, but there was no sufficient communication about what GMO is. The reality is that the GMO is good, but it has to be controlled. You understand? Because the species of seeds we have, if you compare it, or rather, juxtapose it with the necessity of high production of food, volume of food, then you need to have, for instance, a corn, maize, that once you plant it, it will guarantee a very high yield. Those species are one of the stimulants. Make it competitive. Make it beautiful. Young people are not doing anything coming out from schools. In universities, do we have good demonstration farms there? These are little areas you make people busy. Make people realize that you need to produce food. Communities have to map out areas, communal land, where they can say, this is where community will do this. If you go and farm here, we'll give you this. If you produce so quantity of maize, yam, cassava, we'll give you this. If it becomes competitive, you see the speed with which people will rush into agriculture. And you know, when you talk about agriculture, there is value chain. Value chain in agriculture, there are those who are into production, processing, packaging, marketing, and even transport is part of the value chain. So if you don't take critical look at this line of activity, there's no way you guarantee food sufficiency. In the market, what is going on? A lot of waste. The ones that are already produced. How do you check it? The ones that have to be useful. We've not been able to be, we have not been able to be utilized. Storage system.
Now, what can you are the president of the youth wing, and young people are like the motor or the vehicle for any organization. What can or what is Afan Youth Wing doing to address this issue in Anambra? How are you coming in as solution providers in this?
Well, honestly, as you can see, at a point we decided to withdraw from publicity because we need to actualize, we need to put things on ground. We have about 18 months, about roughly 1 year ago, we launched Anambra Agricultural Youth Investment Program. We invited the government commissioner, other top government officials. But after all said and done, we provided a platform so that we work together. But at the end of it, we were discouraged to go forward. We even brought it in the state secretariat. Head of service was there. Most of us got strangulated to put certain ideas on ground. Because that's why I say synergy matters. When Anambra Agricultural Youth Investment Program is an initiative that we brought in from the previous administration when Obiano was about to leave office, just barely a few months before he leaves office. But when this administration came on board, we moved on. But we noticed that government is continuing, but sometimes policy, then some policy deviation a little bit. And governor said he wants to target palm production. Are you with me? We followed suit to the point that we produced a brand of palm oil. All those, since then we've been asking, help us, give us incentives to continue. Because most of these products being produced are not properly channeled the way it will have impact. AFAN is a non-governmental organization. Government has the power. If we are being strategically involved, believe you me, a good number of youths who are into other livestock production are being frustrated. I can't start mentioning after much, I'm not trying to, government is doing their business.
Yes, we understand clearly. You are saying, look at the areas that we need to look at, yes.
You can imagine, one of our members who is he produces, what's it called, pig feed. Do you know what took him out of the business? Because of insecurity. Because it's not insecurity, but the services that he would have rendered was frustrated because the support needed was not there. We've gone to the Ministry of Agriculture, no support.
So, what's your advice? Because we don't have time. What's your advice to both the government, this particular government, whom you see is already trying, but needs to do more? And then what's your advice to the young people out there who would want to try something, maybe agriculture, but are not encouraged?
The advice is simple. Currently, there is hunger. First of all, when these extreme cases occur, government should take those steps. When Buhari was there is an embargo on import. There is need to open up the border for now, so that this will bring down this pressure of hunger. We know when you close the border, it boosts. Okay, what is the cost of rice now? A bag of rice. So there is need to at least open up the border a little, for a little while. That's one. Two, energize farm households. Energize by giving them grant. Sufficient grant, not loan this time around, because you can only survive when government gives grant. That's just the point now. There's no need of saying sufficient grant, not 50,000, not 100,000 naira. But when you give grant, engage stakeholders that monitor the implementation of those facilities. Then improved varieties we are talking about. Supply them. If it is organic fertilizer, fine. If it is inorganic fertilizer, fine. Our government is promoting organic fertilizer. Make it available. A member of our family is producing organic fertilizer. But where is the support?
Well, so for the youth now, maybe in one word because of time, for ordinary people who might be sitting around and want to do something,
and even some of your members,
what would be your advice to them? Yes, exactly.
You have to wait, be patient. It's an endurance test, endurance period. Persevere. My logo of my secondary school was perseverance conquers. Hunger is there. All of us are going to the same market, both the rich, the poor, and the average men. So we have to exercise a little patience. Then add value to what we are doing, in spite of shortcomings, expectations, kinds of expectation. Yes, you demonstrate, but be peaceful. Don't take it to the extreme. But government should have a listening ear. We want to appreciate Mr. Governor for flagging off another badge of one household, one youth, two skills. And it's very, very important. Then other communities, it is not only the responsibility of Mr. Governor to do one household, two skills. One youth, two skills. We have to support the government in any form, in any way. Those who can build roads should do. Those who can build hospitals should do. Those who can give scholarships should. Those who can even provide this grant to farmers that are of private sector should also support the government. So government should not be suffocated with demand. For instance, we have done what we have to do. I myself is doing what I have to do as the youth president. And as a community stakeholder, in my community, we have domesticated one two skills there.
Because of time.
I want to thank you so much, Mr. Chisom Onura. I almost put the comrade again. Anambra State Chapter President, Afan Youth. Thank you so much for the knowledge shared, the advice given, the initiative, everything. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Right now, we'll move over to our breakfast news desk to bring you breakfast news this morning.